Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy. Yes, I will always remember that. Okay, hello everybody. This is Brian J signing on, and I'm here to talk about Jon Jones testing positive for steroids, talk about the Woodley versus Usman fight for a little bit, and I'm also going to talk about Ben Askren finally fighting Robbie Lawlyer. And right now I'm eating some sushi, and I'm just going to wait a little bit to see when more people are going to come on in for this live stream. I'm only going to do this live stream I'm only going to be doing this live stream for like 20 or 30 minutes, so bear with me. I got a pretty busy night. I'm here at Whole Foods having some sushi, and I got to shop for some more food, healthy food, going to try and lose some weight. Hopefully someday going to try and lose some weight. All right. So, Jon Jones testing positive for performance-enhancing drugs. Now, VADA says that he was testing positive for a banned substance that he's already tested positive for, and what he was testing positive for did not go over like a certain line. So, apparently a positive drug test for Jon Jones now is not a positive drug test. To me, Jon Jones is one of their cash cows for the UFC, and he's one of the biggest draws in the sport. So they're not going to ruin their money. So VADA and the VADA State Athletic Commission have gotten out the way. He keeps popping for the same thing. And so they're not going to suspend him or punish him anymore because he's making too much money. That's okay. But he's making too much money for the UFC. And I guess cheating is good when you're the biggest draw in the sport, or at least one of the biggest draws in the sport, and if you keep testing positive for the same banned substance. It's weird. I don't understand this. I've never heard of it before. But Jon Jones, man, he is privileged in the sport of the UFC. He is very privileged. But my prediction for the Jon Jones Anthony Smith fight, I think it's going to be a stand-up battle. I think Jon is going to take away a lot of Anthony Smith's strengths. I think Anthony Smith's strengths are his hands, his elbows, and I think Jon Jones is going to take away a lot of that. And he's going to be using his elbows, using kicks to the body, lead leg kicks and oblique kicks to break down Anthony Smith. I don't know if Jon Jones is going to try and take down Anthony Smith and do some ground and pound, but I think he's going to beat him on the feet, and he could possibly submit him or take him down to the ground and try to beat him on the ground. Jon Jones is a fantastic wrestler, great grappling, and he's one of the smartest fighters. He has a great fighting IQ, but the problem with Jon Jones is that he just keeps cheating. He can't stop cheating, so that's his problem. That's his biggest problem. I don't understand why he can't stay clean. And if Jon Jones wins tonight, it might set up a fight between him and Brock Lesnar in the summertime or in Madison Square Garden in New York, because Daniel Cormier is injured. So Jon Jones could end up fighting Brock Lesnar for the heavyweight title, and Daniel Cormier will fight the winner of that fight for the heavyweight title. Whoever wins between Jon Jones and Brock Lesnar. And the winner of that fight will fight Daniel Cormier for the heavyweight title. Unless Daniel Cormier doesn't want to fight Jon Jones because he doesn't think he's clean. But, and it's true. Jon Jones isn't clean. I mean, he's coming into the octagon with an unfair advantage. He's a great fighter, but he can't stop cheating. So if Daniel Cormier just wants to retire and not fight Jon Jones, fighting a cheater, then he has every right not to fight him, I mean, people will criticize him for not trying to get that third fight against Jones, but, it's up to him. One second. Let me see if I can make this illustrated. Okay, that's good. Wait for more people to come in, but I'm only going to be doing this for another 10 or 15 minutes. This sushi's good. Real good.
Nah, just going to AT&T.
All done. All done. I don't eat the kimchi. I don't like it. But okay. So, on to the Woodley versus Khamir Usman fight. The Woodley Usman fight, I think, is it's a very close competitive fight. It's a very close competitive fight, but I think Woodley is the better striker. He's a better striker than Usman. I think he hits harder than Usman. They're both great wrestlers, world-class wrestlers, great grapplers. And, you know, to me, wrestling is the more dominant grappling. To me, wrestling is the more dominant grappling because it dictates where the fight's going to go on the ground. Like, BJJ is incredible, and it's great to have that in MMA because you could submit anybody off of your back, doing anything or whatever on the ground from your back. But wrestling is where the fight is going to be dictated on the ground. So I think Usman could take Woodley down, but Woodley has great takedown defense. I think it's like at like 80%. I think Woodley's takedown defense is at like at 80-something percent. But yeah, I think Woodley will defend against Usman's takedown attempts, and I think he's just going to beat him on the feet. And you know, Woodley hits really, really hard. He's very accurate with his right hand, and he's a great striker. He's very fast. The problem is that he has some stamina issues, which he's worked on a lot. He hasn't gassed out at all in his last couple of fights, and he was very dominant against Darren Till because Darren Till is a very tall, lengthy striker, and those are the type of fighters that Woodley does so well because Woodley is so short. You know, so Woodley has like the perfect center of gravity, and because he's so short, he's able to really get in on the inside and land a straight right hand and hit really hard. And it's like, that's how he was able to beat Thompson twice, and that's how he was able to dominate Darren Till, you know? And I forgot who Stephen Thompson's going to fight. I'm not too sure. But Darren Till's going to fight Jorge Masvidal, and I guess the winner of that fight's going to be fighting Tyron Woodley in the summertime if Kobe doesn't get a fight against Woodley this summer or later on in the year, Madison Square Garden. But, you know, Kobe's just biding his time and, you know, collecting sponsorship money before getting ready for a fight against Woodley or Usman. But I don't know if Kobe really wants that smoke against Woodley. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll believe it when I see a press conference. I don't know. To me, Kobe is all talk. That's just me. He just talks a lot of shit and he's just hyping himself, but he's not serious about a real fight against Woodley. But yeah, that's my prediction for the Jon Jones versus Anthony Smith fight. Jon Jones is on performance-enhancing drugs, and I think because of that, he's going to have an unfair advantage against Anthony Smith. But he's also incredibly skilled, so I think he's going to beat Smith with skills as well as having an advantage. And I think Woodley is going to knock out Khamir Usman or win by a decision. Now, here's my prediction for the Ben Askren-Robbie Lawlyer fight. Ben Askren versus Robbie Lawlyer is going to be a grappler versus striker match. And, you know, Robbie Lawlyer has a fantastic takedown defense. He defended against a lot of takedowns against Johnny Hendricks, you know, before USADA came along in the UFC. Johnny Hendricks was taking a lot of steroids, performance-enhancing drugs, and still Robbie Lawlyer was able to gas him out and defend against a lot of takedowns and land a lot of punches and elbows and some ground and pound, and then almost knock him out on the feet in the 5th round. And I gave Robbie Lawlyer rounds 4 and 5 against Johnny Hendricks. And yeah, basically clinched the fight for Robbie Lawlyer in the rematch. I personally thought Johnny Hendricks did enough to win the first 3 rounds, but one of those rounds was pretty close. I thought Lawlyer clearly won the last 2 rounds because Johnny Hendricks gassed out. And that was a great fight. But yeah, I don't know if Robbie Lawlyer would be able to defend against Ben Askren's takedowns because Ben Askren is a really big guy. He's very big. He's very strong. He has great takedown offense as far as wrestling goes. And I think Robbie could try and defend, but Robbie, he couldn't defend against takedowns against RDA. You know, yeah, Robbie was injured in that fight, but RDA is not even a real welterweight. RDA is more of a lightweight or a super lightweight. He's not a big welterweight. He's not a real welterweight. You know, Robbie Lawlyer couldn't defend against his takedown attempts, you know, against the cage. So I don't see how Robbie Lawlyer is going to be able to defend against Ben Askren. So I think Ben Askren is just going to take down Robbie Lawlyer. and just wrestle him like crazy. I think he's just going to wrestle him to death and really show him who's boss. I just think, Ben Askren's going to show Robbie Lawlyer who's boss on the ground. But if Ben Askren tries to go toe-to-toe and stand up against Robbie Lawlyer, he's going to lose. He might get knocked out because Robbie Lawlyer is great striking, great stand-up. And, he's not the most intelligent fighter, but he's incredibly resilient, very aggressive, and very durable. So, okay, so my fight predictions is Jon Jones beating Anthony Smith, Tyrone Woodley beating Kamaru Usman, and Ben Askren beating Robbie Lawlyer. I think that one of those fights could be a submission or a TKO, or it'll be a decision, one of those fights. But it's possible that there's going to be an upset in this Saturday. Tomorrow night, it's going to be a great card, great fight card for tomorrow night. So those are my fight predictions. Those are my thoughts on the fights. And this is a very quick live stream. That's like 11 minutes right now. So I got to get out of here and I got to do some shopping. He did what? Yeah. Hey, Coach. Coach is on here. Coach, we got to get back to doing the Come Get This Work mobcast. We got to get back to the mobcast. Yeah, Jon Jones, man, he tested positive twice. What do they call it? Inverse testing. He tested clean on 3 drug tests. 2 drug tests, he tested positive. But now Jon Jones can't even test positive, even though he tests positive. I don't even know how that makes any sense. Makes no sense. But that's just the reality of the situation. Money talks, money talks. Oh, man. Coach Sheldon Harrison, everybody. Yes. I've been trying to do these live streams at least every Friday, but I just haven't, been kind of busy. Right now I'm shopping at Whole Foods trying to get some healthy food and drink. I just had some sushi. But we got to get this mobcast. Everyone's busy in January and February. It's like the beginning of the year, everybody's busy. And I understand. It's not, it's all good. We're all still connected. Oh, and Tisha Torres is fighting. I'm not too excited about the Tisha Torres fight. It could be good. It could be competitive. But I think Tisha's going to win. I just think she has more tools to her game. I think Tisha Torres has more tools to her game than the fighter that she's fighting. The fighter she's fighting it's kind of limited. But Tisha, she can get back in title contention. Yeah, she is tough. I agree. Zhang's really tough. Zhang is a really tough fighter. She hits really hard. She's really strong, very tough. But I think Tisha has more of an offensive skill set. I think Tisha's going to win. And I hope Cody loses, of course. Cody, I hope he loses. But it's a great card. It's a great main event. And the prelims are good, too. You got Mickey Gall fighting, who's a great BJJ expert. BJJ black belt. I think it's a Gracie black belt. I think Mickey Gall's a Gracie black belt, so that's good. Yeah. Oh, man. It's all good. Got some food. Gonna go shopping. Get some healthy milk and some juice. But, yeah. Who else is fighting? There's 2 female fights, too, on Fight Pass. There's 2 female fights. Gina's fighting. Gina Mazzani, she's fighting. She's a good wrestler, but I'm not a big fan of Gina Mazzani. She could win. She could do well. There's somebody else is fighting too. So there's some interesting female fights. I finally watched the 2 female fights that happened this past Saturday. I mean, Jillian Robertson, man, she did really good against her opponent. I mean, she struggled a little bit on the ground against her, but I think Jillian Robertson is still a blue belt in BJJ, and she still toughed out her opponent and got the back, and she got the rear naked choke. She still got the submission. I mean, Jillian Robertson is really tough, and since Jessica Ai is probably ducking Valentina Shevchenko, I guess Valentina will probably have to fight Jillian Robertson, Andrea KGB Lee, or maybe Caitlin Kukujian. But it's crazy. Jessica Ai was talking all this trash, saying she wanted to fight Valentina, she wanted to take that belt, and when push came to shove, she just ducked that whole fight. So I'm really disappointed in Jessica Ai, but it's not surprising. For some reason, Valentina just can't get these women in the octagon with her. Except for Joanna, but Joanna doesn't want to fight her again, so. Oh well, I feel bad for Valentina. But anyways, I got to get off of here. I'll probably do a live stream later on tonight. before going to sleep. But I got to get back to shopping. I got to get home. But yeah, it's good. It's good seeing you again, Coach. If you're gonna do a live stream, I would love to hop on it, and we gotta get back to come get this work. And I hope this Saturday is gonna be a great night of fights and a great card. And this is Brian.